a famous deafblind person named Helen Keller. I have a really exciting story to tell you about her. She lived a tough childhood and was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama, USA. She was born on June 27, 1880. Helen Keller was not born blind and deaf. It was not until she was 19 months old that she got illness described by doctors as an acute jamming of the stomach and the brain. The illness left her deaf and blind. Luckily, a doctor in Baltimore put the parents of Helen in touch with Alexander Graham Bell. He advised the couple to contact the Perkins Institute for the Blind. The director of the school asked Annie Sullivan to become Helen's instructor. Annie arrived at Keller's house in March 1887, and Helen was 7 years old. Annie immediately started to teach Helen sign language. Helen's first word was doll, because Annie got her a doll as a present when she arrived. Helen was frustrated at first. She did not understand that every object had a word differently identifying it. Actually, when Sullivan was trying to teach Helen the word for mug, Helen became so frustrated she broke the doll. Helen's big step forward in communicating came the next month, when she realized that the motions Annie's making on the palm of her hand while running cool water over her other hand symbolized the idea of water. She then nearly exhausted Sullivan, demanding the names of all the other familiar objects in her world. Helen Adams Keller had a successful education. Starting in May 1888, Helen attended the Perkins Institute for the Blind. In 1894, Helen Keller and Annie Sullivan moved to New York to attend the Wright Humason School for the Deaf. In 1896, they returned to the Massachusetts, and Keller entered the Cambridge School for Young Ladies before gaining admission in 1900 to Radcliffe College, where she lived in Briggs Hall. Her admirer had introduced her the Standard Oil tycoon Henry Hutchinson Rogers, who with his wife Abby paid for her education. In 1904, at the age of 24, Helen graduated from Radcliffe, becoming the first deafblind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. Helen Keller learned to hear other people by feeling the vibration that came out of the people's mouth and nose. She also learned to read by braille and communicate with sign language. After Sullivan died in 1936, Keller and Polly Thompson, the housekeeper, moved to Constitucius. They traveled worldwide and raised funds for the blind. Polly had a stroke in 1957, from which she never fully recovered and died in 1960. Winnie Corbally, a nurse who was originally brought in to replace Polly in 1957, stayed on after her death and was Helen's companion for the rest of her life. Helen Keller went on to become a world-famous speaker and author. She inspired changes in the public attitudes about the capabilities of people with the loss of vision. As she pushed for radical changes in the law, people with disabilities were able to change into normal education and employment. Helen Keller inspired the future generations of people with disabilities to live life to the fullest. Keller wrote a total of 12 published books and several articles. One of the earliest pieces of writing, at age 11, was The Frost King in 1891. There were allegations that the story had been plagiarized from The Frost Fairies by Margaret Canby. An investigation into the material revealed that Helen may have experienced a case of cryptomnesia, which was that she had Canby's story read to her but forgot about it, while the memory remained in her subconscious. At age 22, Helen published her autobiography, The Story of My Life. In 1903, with help from Sullivan and Sullivan's husband, John Mackey, it includes words that Helen wrote and the story of her life up to age 21, and was written during her time in college. Helen Keller wrote The World I Live in 1908, giving readers an insight into how she felt about the world. Out of the Dark, a series of essays on socialism, was published in 1913, when Keller was young. Annie Sullivan introduced her to Philip Brooks, who introduced her to Christianity, Keller famously saying, "I always knew he was there, but I didn't know his name." Keller traveled to 40-some odd countries with Sullivan, making several trips to Japan and becoming a favorite of the Japanese people. Keller met every U.S. president from the Governor Cleveland to Lyndon B. Johnson and was friends with many famous figures, including Alexander Graham Bell, Charlie Chaplin, and Mark Twain. Her dedicating much of her later life to raising funds for the American Foundation for the Blind. Unfortunately, Helen died in her bed on June 1, 1968. A service was held in her honor at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and her ashes were placed there next to her constant companions, Annie Sullivan and Polly Thompson.